Hello. Welcome everyone. How is everyone doing today? I'm on live. I'm on live on YouTube and Twitter. 3 days in a row now, or is it 4 days? Can't keep up. But thanks for joining me, guys. Good morning to you and good evening to some of you, depending on your time. And hello, David. Just want to see who's here. Hello, Pomin. Yeah, today's live stream. Don't forget to like and share as well, guys. And again, I'm doing this simultaneously on YouTube and on Twitter. So those of you on Twitter want to ask me any questions, just wait till the end of my presentation. You're welcome to ask me any questions, and we can kind of talk about it. And you guys on YouTube, just remember, if you want to ask me any questions, let me finish my presentation. At the end, I'll give you a chance to ask questions. So hello, Cam, and hello, Muso. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. So without any further ado, let me start the show. So today's show, I'm going to be talking about Gaza, what's happening with Gaza. And the main topic of the day is, why is United States looking to attack Iran? And the main reason is China. And I'm going to explain why. And and let's see if you guys agree with me or not. Okay, so let's start with the first roundup from Gaza, and let me open my screen. Make sure you guys can see my screen. Okay, that's good. So let's round it up. So it looks like there's an invasion force going on in northern Gaza, and looks like it's going ahead. And the reason it's going ahead now, guys, there's a reason why this attack is going ahead right now, because the oil prices and the gold prices are shooting up in the market. However, as you know, the markets are closed around 10 o'clock UK time for the whole weekend, and they're going to open at 11 on Sunday. So basically, they're doing this attack now because they don't want to affect the oil prices and gold prices affecting the market. If it happened during the week, these prices would have caused mayhem for companies alike. So this was planned to be run on Friday evening, and it's all about money. It's all about the markets. So this is why they're doing it right now, and not many people are reporting on it. So you can see some pictures here of Gaza, completely destroyed, before and after pictures. You can see it's completely leveled. It's just rubble, absolutely rubble. And oh, there's that annoying girl from Snow White. Let's not talk about her anymore. So this guy's his name's R.O. Khanna, and he's basically saying that President Xi is coming to United States to chat to Biden, and he's basically saying that China, President Biden needs to ask President Xi about what's happening with the Uyghurs, what's happening with the trade deficit. We want our jobs back. And what are you doing rushing up tensions in Taiwan? And another thing that he mentioned was the trade deficit with India. So obviously you can see he's got an Indian background. So obviously he's going to mention India as well. And he said China needs to fix trade deficits with United States and India. So obviously, he's Indian, and he's obviously, most Indians, are very anti-Chinese. And he's just riding along with the bandwagon, really. I don't know if anyone's going to listen to him, but the most important thing apparently to him was what's happening with the Uyghurs. Well, what's happening in Palestine, mate? Answer that first. And as you can see, people are reporting massive number of Israeli tanks arriving in the northern border, and things will escalate very soon. They've had a massive bombing campaign in Gaza today, the biggest one they've ever had, and apparently all the electricity, communications, internet, everything is down. which is bad news really, because that means power in hospitals are down. That means they can't treat the wounded. That means babies in incubators are going to die, and a lot of people are going to die because they can't treat them, treat the wounded. So it's really, really bad what they're doing. The civilians are suffering mainly, rather than Hamas. And there's a picture here, which is exactly how the Western media works. You know, you see this woman with a child, dead child in her arms, and the reporters are asking her, "Do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn Hamas?" That's all they care about. They don't really care about her dead child, and this is exactly how the Western media works. And you can see some pictures from Gaza here, absolutely being destroyed. Picture on the left and picture on the right. You can see some buildings being absolutely leveled, and yeah, it's not good. So there's a story about Maxwell naming Bill Gates as one of the guys who's been going to the island with Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and so it looks like Bill Gates might be one of the names. So he might be in big trouble. I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but he might be worried. So we'll just look. We'll just come back to that story. So you can see more support for Israel by India, and all of these Israeli supporters are thanking India for their support. So I just said Indians are making a big mistake, huge mistake. And there's some more videos you can see. Gaza is completely leveled, absolutely leveled. I mean, to kill one Hamas member, they basically destroy a whole neighborhood. I mean, you can see this neighborhood completely destroyed, apartment buildings and civilians. They don't care, Yeah, it's just a shame. So this, this is quite a funny video. I don't know if you guys follow this guy, it's Nuri Vachi. So Nuri Vachi is basically picked up a Washington Post or New York Post. Basically, it says that bombing civilians is a good thing because the more die during this bombing, the less will die during when Israel goes into Gaza as an invasion force. So they're basically saying the more that die, and it's really a good thing because the less people will be dead when Israel goes back in. So it's kind of really sick and twisted kind of thinking, almost like devilish kind of thinking. It's almost like let's kill these civilians first, and we're doing them a favor. If they die, then we're doing them a favor because they're going to die anyway if we go in. So it's absolutely sick, guys. Absolutely sick. So again, double standards here by uh, I can't remember his name now. Is it Kirby? I think it's Kirby. So when Ukrainians were dying, he was like almost in tears, saying, "Oh, I can't stand Ukrainian civilians dying." And then when Hamas went into Israel on October 7th, he was like throwing some crocodile tears, saying, "Oh, I can't hold back my tears. Israelis are dead by Hamas and all that stuff." And when he hears about Palestinians dying, he changes his tune completely. He says, "Oh, this is war. This is brutal. Civilians will die. Civilian casualties, they will be there. Palestinians will die. This is war. It's brutal. Can you see the double standards?" So when it comes to Ukraine and Israel, it's completely different. He's crying, crocodile tears and stuff. But when it comes to Palestine, he says, "Oh, war is brutal." Again, just clear double standards. So Qatar has ordered all McDonald eateries to be closed, which was go Qatar. I think it's a good thing. And let's go back down. So Colombia is doing doing a very good deed, actually. Colombia is sending more humanitarian aid to Gaza, and they have also expelled Israeli ambassadors from the country as well. So I just wish that the Arabian countries would do the same, because the Israeli ambassadors in the Arab countries are still there. So I just wish the Arabian countries would just have a bit of balls and do what Colombia is doing. So there's some rumors going around that Israel assassinated Mr. John F. Kennedy, and the reason is JFK. The reason is because JFK wanted to have a two-state solution with Israel and Palestine at the time, and he was a real advocate for peace in the Middle East, and he really wanted the two-state solution. So there's a rumor that Israelis actually, or Mossad or Secret Service, killed him or got him killed, and so this rumor is obviously circulating. There's no proof, obviously, but it makes sense. So there's some good news coming out of China. YMTC has built the world's most powerful memory chip, and this memory chip is basically one of the most powerful in the world at the moment. So YMTC, despite all the sanctions, is able to produce these high-end chips, and it just goes to show that these sanctions are not working. And just seeing if there's any other good stories. Oh, this is a good story. So there's a US military plane flying next to the B-52 bomber. And you can see the pictures how close it was to the B-52 bomber. And this B-52 bomber was flying in the South China Sea. So these Americans and these pilots were basically complaining that the Chinese jet was flying a bit too close. My question is, what the hell are you doing in South China Sea anyway? And secondly, if you're scared of Chinese jets approaching you, then don't go flying near China then. Fly in your own airspace. So what the hell are they doing in China anyway? So yeah, so if you don't, it's just really ridiculous how they can complain. So Bella Hadid has basically come out in support of Palestine. Bella Hadid has been missing from social media over the past few weeks since the conflict started. And she's explained in her letter the reason she was missing was she received a lot of death threats, not only from individuals, but also from governments in Israel, and also Secret Service, and also a lot of high-end, dangerous people you don't want to mess with. And that's why she basically said she was very scared, and she was scared of her life. And but now she's released that message saying she's not scared of dying anymore. Whatever they have to do to her, they can do to her, because her people are dying. And I thought it's quite brave of her. And that's what they do. If there's any celebrities that speak out about Palestine, they just get death threats and threats to destroy their career and stuff like that. One particular person who's completely quiet is DJ Khaled. I don't know if you guys follow DJ Khaled. And DJ Khaled is a famous DJ in the United States, and he makes a lot of money. And he's Palestinian as well, and he's been made to keep quiet. On his social media, you're not going to see anything about Palestine. So obviously, yeah, maybe somebody got to him. Oh, this is so funny. I wish I can put the sound on, but I don't think you guys can hear the sound. I don't know if you can hear.
And my name is, okay, so today my name is Free Palestine. I went to a coffee shop. I'm not going to say the name of the coffee shop, and they asked for a name. What's your name? And my name is, okay, so today my name is Free Palestine. So she says, free what? I said, Free Palestine. And then I spell it for her. She writes it down. And then it's my turn. She calls my name. Free Palestine. I pretend I did not hear. She yells again. Free Palestine. Everyone is looking at her like mad.
I don't know if you guys could hear that, but hopefully you heard it. But basically, he was in Starbucks, and he put his name as Free Palestine, and the lady called out his name, and she kept shouting Free Palestine, Free Palestine, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, so you guys can hear it. Oh, excellent! That's good news. That's good news. Excellent, excellent. So how's everyone doing? Is everyone doing good? Don't forget to like and share, guys. Oh, hey Frankie, how you doing? Good to see you here. We need to do our live chat soon, and I think I sent you an email. Just reply when you're free, and we can arrange something. Hey Hanford, hey Dark Cloud, how you doing? Cosmo Ray. If anybody else wants to arrange a chat with me, just email me, and we can arrange something. Hey David, and who else is there? There's somebody called Goodbye USA. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. And okay, let's. We need critical thinking. Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. And No Way, welcome back. Cosmo Ray as well. Welcome back. Okay, let's carry on with the show, guys. Let's carry on. And let's see now. Oh yeah, this is quite funny. So basically, oh yeah, this is absolutely hilarious. The day on the UN when Colin Powell, basically did a presentation, and he brought out a vial. He said this was chemical weapons and stuff like that. So this Israeli minister brought out a rock. He said these Palestinians are hitting us with rocks, apparently. So hang on a second. These Palestinians are hitting him or hitting Israel with rocks, and they are basically leveling Palestine with bombs. So does that look like fairness to you? It's like me poking someone with one finger and they turn around and blow me with a bazooka or something. It doesn't seem very fair. But this is like clown world. This is exactly what he was trying to do. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So there's some videos of these Israelis mocking, making fun out of Palestinians who are dying and stuff like that. So this is quite upsetting. So I'm not going to show you all of it, but you can kind of see what's happening. They're trying to show that they're like dogs and making fun of them. This is all over TikTok. Really disgusting people, guys. Really disgusting people. I mean, how can they get any kind of thrill out of people dying? I don't know. And these poor kids who are obviously the ones who have survived, they're suffering a lot of trauma, as you can see from him. This kid is clearly having trauma. Yeah, so it's not good. So the report I showed you yesterday where his family died, he's back at work today, apparently. So he's extremely professional. He said that he's back at work because he's got a duty to report what's happening in Palestine and stuff. So yeah, he's a bit of a hero, that guy. And I think that's it, guys. I think we kind of covered all the main stories for today. So let's talk about the main story. Let's cover the main story. Let's stop this. And so the main story of today is US has been dropping bombs in Syria, and they are linking it to Iran-linked sites in Syria. However, Biden made a press conference, and in his press conference, I think he let the cat out the bag. He said that he's looking to attack Iran, and it's nothing to do with what's happening with Israel, apparently. That's what he said, his own words. So I think he's let the cat out of the bag, and I don't think he meant to say what he said. But he basically said that, in other words, he's trying to say that United States will need to attack Iran, but it's got nothing to do with what's happening in Israel, meaning there's other reasons. And the main reason is China. And I'll tell you why. The main reason is China, guys. So the issue we have at the moment is, oh, hang on a second, guys. I'm just gonna charge my laptop. It's running out of battery. There you go. So the issue United States has is with Iran, and don't forget to like guys, help the algorithm. Okay, so let's carry on. So the problem United States has with Iran, Iran has pretty much evaded all the sanctions, all the major sanctions they've placed on Iran. Iran has managed to overcome them. They've overcome all the oil sanctions because Iran's capacity is now more than when Trump put those sanctions in place back then when Trump was in power, and he tore the JCPOA. And now Iran's capacity is 3 times more compared to that, and they're selling oil to China 4 times more compared to that particular time, when sanctions were in place. So they know Iran is making a lot of money at the moment, and Iran is making huge amounts of money because the oil prices are very high. At the moment, oil prices are around $84, $85 per barrel. This is WTI crude, by the way. And they know Iran is making a lot of money. And they know Iran doesn't have a problem with technology because they are importing a lot of technology from China and Russia as well. Because recently China has made the bombshell that they can make 7 nanometers chips. So imagine what Iran can do with 7 nanometers chips. They can produce hypersonic missiles, and they can have all sorts of technology with those kind of chips. And this is something United States does not want. And Iran right now, the other reason is Iran is also very close to a nuclear weapon. I believe they already have a nuclear weapon. It's very much under wraps. It's very much ready to go. If I believe if the country is threatened, they could enable that nuclear weapons program in an instant. And any country would, if any country would do that in the event of national security. So that's another reason as well. But the main reason is China. And why do you think they pushed Ukraine to fight Russia? The main reason was to weaken Russia, because China has very powerful friends at the moment, Russia and Iran. And they are trying to weaken Russia with the Ukrainian war, which hasn't worked. It's actually strengthening Russia. And now they are trying to weaken Iran as well, because they know in the event of a war with Taiwan in the future, United States will want to block all sea routes. Same thing that they did to Japan in the Second World War. They will want to starve China with all access via the Malacca Strait, and they will starve China with access to oil and gas, because China's economy is mainly comes through a shipping route. So they're going to try and choke that, and they're going to try and choke China in that sense. But they got 2 problems. Number one is Iran. Iran can provide as much oil to China as it needs. And second problem they have is Russia. Russia can also provide oil and gas and many other raw materials and stuff like that. So they have two fronts basically. One front attacking Russia with Ukraine, and that's going to probably last another year or so. I mean, longer that war lasts, their thinking is the weaker Russia's going to get, but that's not the case. Obviously, neocons will think like that, and they want to open up a second front attacking Iran. And if they can get a if they can get a regime change in Iran, like they did with Iraq, or like they did, or make it into a total chaos like they did to Libya, then they've won. Because if they can turn Iran into total chaos, or they can help regime change, then that means Iran will not be friendly towards China anymore. That means they're not going to provide these oil contracts to China. In fact, these oil contracts will start going into the West, and that's their thinking basically. So the long-term goal is to destabilize or do regime change on Iran and also to Russia, and have a two-pronged war. One with Russia and one with Iran, and the ultimate goal is to weaken China, and that's what they're trying to do. And they obviously, they obviously put Iran in an axis of evil, and yeah, this is how these neocons are thinking at the moment. Give me a second, guys. So this is how the neocons are thinking at the moment, and so let me know if you guys have any questions. So let's see what you guys are saying, and they may go for Syria first. Well, yes. For the United States, Syria is an easy target because Syria has been attacked by Israel and proxy forces for years, and Syria has been under heavy sanctions as well. So Syria is a very weak country compared to Iran. Its military is not as strong as Iranian. So Syria would be an easy target. And I think you have 3 aircraft carriers and a 4th arriving in the Mediterranean Sea. And those aircraft carriers are not there for show. They want action, basically. And I think what's going to happen now that there's incursion into Gaza, I think that what they're going to do is go into northern Lebanon, and then they're going to go into Syria. And from then, once they get into Syria, once they can overthrow Assad, Iran would be the next step, because Syria shares a border with Iran. So that's how they're going to get to Iran, basically. They're going to go for Lebanon first, then Syria, and then go for Iran. And I think that's the ultimate goal. And what's in it for the neocons? If they can achieve what they want to achieve, they can achieve 3 things at once. They can achieve regime change in Lebanon, put a friendly puppet in place like they have in Jordan. They can put a friendly puppet in place like they have, replace Assad and replace him with somebody friendly, and eventually get to Iran and replace somebody friendly. And I think that's the ultimate goal, because these 3 countries are the only countries still who are not following the line. They are not towing the line with the United States, basically. So these 3 are the main problem countries. So according to the neocons, if they can achieve this mission, they can put friendly countries in these 3 problematic Middle Eastern countries and affect China in the long term as well. So for them, it's a perfect plan. And I just think that this is what these guys are thinking. And there's 4 aircraft carriers in the Gulf. They're already talking about attacking Iran. They're already talking about attacking Syria and Lebanon. They are making waves. They are trying to talk about weapons of mass destruction. Iran's got like nuclear weapons. All these, they're going to try and come up with these stories. They'll come up with an excuse to protect US bases in Syria, protect US bases in Iraq. They need to go after Syria and Iran. So they can make whatever story they want, and I think that's the ultimate goal, unfortunately. So Egypt is pretty much a puppet of the Western side. So is Jordan. So they'll probably leave those two countries alone. The main problem countries are Lebanon, Syria, and Iran. And I think if they can achieve their goal, the neocons will be like rubbing their hands in glee and thinking, yes, mission done, mission done. However, it's not that easy. As you know, they have completely misinterpreted the Ukraine war. They thought that Russia is going to collapse, the ruble is going to collapse. They thought Russia is going to be weak, but it hasn't worked. So their plan with Russia hasn't worked. Now they're going to give up that plan and they're going to go for the Middle East and try and achieve their goals here. However, I just don't think this is going to work. Again, the Middle East will rise up, and Iran is not as weak as they think. Iran is actually has been arming itself for the past 30, 40 years, and it's been making its own military, and its military is extremely strong. And all the proxy forces, all the American bases around the Middle East are going to be under severe pressure. And even the aircraft carriers might be under severe pressure as well, because if Iran managed to make hypersonic missile or something, those aircraft carriers would be in range. So it could escalate very, very badly. So let's see who else got any nice questions. I'm just going to go up. Remember to put Q in front of your question, and I will try and answer it. Let's make it into, yeah, let's make in. Oh, so Frankie says all Iran has to do is close the Hormuz Strait. Exactly. I think if they can close the Hormuz Strait, it would cause a huge amounts of global economy issues. Oil prices are going to shoot up. Oil prices will probably go from $84 to $200 a barrel. The economy would be absolutely going crazy. And the Hormuz Strait is pretty narrow. All they have to do is sink a couple of containers coming through, and that's it. And put loads of like missiles near the Hormuz Strait, and it would cause all sorts of issues in the market. And I think, yeah, I don't think United States will want to do that. But then again, we're dealing with neocons here. Neocons don't really think that far. I mean, think about it, guys. When all of the West was putting these sanctions in place into Russia, did they think about China? Did they think about the Middle East? Did they think about Africa that the Russians can trade with? No, they didn't. They thought, because they don't have that, how do you say, they don't have wide vision. They have a very narrow-minded vision. They only see one thing. They're not open-minded. Nobody stood up and say, "Oh, hang on a second. If we place all these sanctions on Russia, what if they start trading with China?" Nobody stood up and said anything obvious like that. So that's the problem. That's the people we're dealing with here. They're very narrow-minded. They have a tunnel vision. They only see one thing in front of them, and they wouldn't think that far. They wouldn't think about the Hormuz Strait being closed or what other issues it would cause by attacking Iran. They don't think that far. All they think about is just attacking Iran. And this is why you have a lot of neocons on Fox News and MSNBC all saying, yeah, let's attack Iran, let's attack Iran. You have Nikki Haley and what's that guy, Lindsey Graham, and they're all saying, let's attack Iran. But they don't think about the consequences. They don't think what that would cause. And that's the people you're dealing with, unfortunately. So I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them. Okay, so who else got a question? So Iran has been a long, free-thinking, resilient nation, and they will be defending themselves on home turf. China won't allow Iran to fall. Of course, China and Russia won't let Iran to fall, because China knows if Iran falls, that is a major security issue for China, because China has got 400 billion worth of investments in Iran right now. And if Iran is if they change regime change in Iran, and that would cause major issues for China, and also they would lose a major friend in the region, and they will lose access to all of the cheap oil that Iran's been giving them. Plus, in the event of Taiwan, China's going to struggle getting oil because Russia's not going to be able to provide all of it by itself. So they need Iran. And China is very strong right now because to the north they have Russia as a friend, and to the south they have Iran, and that triangle is a very strong triangle. So anything that breaks in that, then China would be affected. So yeah, China would not allow it, and I think that China will help Iran to fight off the Americans, whether by providing weapons or helping them in some way. And Russia will be helping Iran as well. Russia's got huge amounts of investments in Iranian gas fields and oil fields, and Russia's not going to allow Iran to fall as well. So I think Russia will be flying around with Kinzhal missiles, and if these aircraft carriers come anywhere close to Iran, they will be taken out. Okay, so who else is and Frankie says no one kind of likes Haley. You're 100% right. Nobody really takes notice. But if you notice that she's getting a lot of airtime on American TV, she's getting a lot of airtime compared to everyone else. And this is mainly because of her rhetoric. And yeah, I mean, I know nobody really takes her seriously, but yeah, I think she's coming on national television, but she basically is saying she's basically talking for the rest of the neocons. Everyone else is basically thinking like her, but she's coming out and saying it. That's the problem. So no way says Iran is vital for Belt and Road. Exactly, Iran is vital for Belt and Road. So this is why China is not going to allow Iran to fall, and nor is Russia, because Iran is a very important country to both Russia and China. So Kirby already announced they would respond with asymmetric force if Iran's dares to act during the Palestine ordeal. Yes, they would. Yes, they would, but we'll see how they react. Really, it really does depend. If US has said that they would attack Iranian infrastructure like oil and gas facilities, and if that happens, then obviously Iran's going to have to retaliate back, and things can escalate very fast. But again, you don't know how things will escalate here. I think this weekend is going to be a very interesting weekend. Hey, CA, how you doing? Yeah, no problem. Take your time, mate. Take your time. Watch in your own leisure. Good to see you. Good to see you. Any other question, guys? And let's see if I'm just going up to the chat, see if there's anyone wants to ask me a nice question. So Dark Cloud says US doesn't know how to think. Exactly. They don't think. They just go ahead and do things and think later. You know, they act first and think later. Oh, that's a good question. Hoshiba, will there be a refugee crisis in Europe? Certainly will. There certainly will be a refugee crisis. If Syria, Lebanon gets completely leveled, these people they're going to start coming to Europe in thousands. Already are many fleeing to Europe, and you're going to see tens or hundreds of thousands moving to Europe after this, because that's what happens. You know, they've bombed over the years. They've bombed Libya, Syria, Iraq, you know, and pretty much destroyed Lebanon as well. So many people from there are traveling north and going into Europe. And yeah, this is going to cause a huge refugee crisis in Europe. But United States doesn't care, because this refugee crisis is Europe's problem. It's not United States' problem. So they don't care really. Same way is they don't care if the European economy tanks. You know, it's not the United States economy. So these vassal states in Europe, who cares if they fall or not? Because as long as it's not the US, that's all that matters. Okay, I'm just going to go up, see what other questions there is. Oh, somebody asked me. How will Iraq respond if Syria and Iran are attacked? They have pretty close relations with both nations. Yeah, the problem with Iraq is they are still a puppet government of the US. They are still controlled. And the United States is controlling Iraq by holding all of the oil funds. So all of the oil funds that Iraq makes is being held in the United States. So they control well over 100 billion worth of oil money of Iraq. And these puppets United States has actually put into place, they are still puppets end of the day. They can easily be replaced. So Iraq, the government is not going to probably do anything, but the people might. I think you might see a lot of Iraqis who've been attacking US troops for years. They might start attacking US bases in Iraq and trying to make trouble there. So I think that might happen, and some of them might go into Iran to help. Some of them might go into Syria to help. Yeah, I think the government officially is not going to do anything, but the people might. Okay, so what other questions do you have, guys? Let's see. So if Iran tells USA they got nukes, they will back off. Yeah, definitely. I mean, look what North Korea did. I mean, North Korea would have been attacked a long time ago if North Korea didn't have any nukes. So because North Korea's got nukes, United States and South Korea are just backing off North Korea. They're not going to come near it. And I think if Iran has nuclear weapons, they should say they have, and that's the only thing that's going to stop United States and other countries from attacking Iran. Because if you have nukes, countries are scared to attack. They kind of stand back a bit, saying, "Oh, hang on a second. There's a big risk there. If we attack, we might get killed." So, 100% right. I think Iran should open their nuclear weapons program and just tell the world where we are now a nuclear power. I think what Iran also needs are S-400s as well from Russia. They have good radars from China which can identify stealth aircraft like F-35s and other stealth bombers and things like that. And the problem is, I don't think Iran has got the technology to take them down just yet. They don't have anti-aircraft missiles like the S-400 standard, and they don't have the latest jets. They don't have the Su-27s, Su-35s to take them down. I mean, they have ordered some jets from Russia, but these are going to take time. They haven't arrived yet. The second option is to buy jets from China, but I believe they are waiting on the Chinese jets. China is making the J-35, which is going to be an export version, and but it's not, it's not ready yet. So I think Iran is waiting for those airplanes before they buy it from China. But yeah, I think the neocons know if they need to attack Iran, now is the best time to attack them, because they are still fairly weak at the moment. But if they wait 5-10 years, Iran might be even more powerful. They might have these anti-aircraft missiles. They might have the up-to-date aircrafts, up-to-date lasers and all sorts of upgraded weapons from China and Russia. So I feel that the neocons believe that if there was a time to attack Iran, it'd probably be now, because they are still weak. They don't really have an advanced air force just yet. They don't have advanced anti-aircraft missiles, and their missile industry is still, still kind of in the early stages. Their hypersonic missiles are not yet ready. They are still kind of testing that at the moment. So yeah, they probably feel that the time is now if they need to attack Iran, because in a year or 2 years it might be too late. But I just think it's too late already. I just think it's going to be a huge disaster if they attack. Any other questions, guys? Let's see. Just going through your messages. Iran says they have hypersonics. Yeah, they say they have, but I don't think they have, to be honest. I think they're still testing, because to have hypersonic missiles, your missile industry has to be really advanced, like China and Russia. I don't think it's that advanced just yet. I think it's going to take still some time, maybe a couple of years or something, maybe more. Yeah, Hanford said Libya removed nukes and we saw what happened. Exactly. I remember when Libya stopped its nuclear program and all of the West started celebrating. And then a few years later, they went into Libya and got rid of him, killed him, and destroyed the country. And you can see what happens if you get rid of your nuke program. So the lesson of the day is, if you have nukes, they won't attack you. But if you get rid of your nukes, they'll eventually attack you and kill you. So that's the lesson. Okay, so I've got a question here. With all the negative scheming the USA does, the accusation of being called the Great Satan by Iran and others has some validity. I wouldn't call them the Great Satan. I would call Israel the Great Satan, because you see what they are doing. So, and obviously, United States is supporting that. They are accomplices to genocide. But I wouldn't go that far with United States. I think there are, yeah. I mean, I like United States. I lived there for a couple of years. I worked there. There are good people in the United States. They're very intelligent people there. But problem is, the country is run by these neocons and warmongers, and banks and things like that, and it's just destroying, America's constitution. Really, this is not what America was built on. So yeah, I wouldn't call America that, but I would definitely call Israel that, because Israel is actively doing genocide in front of our eyes, and they are saying like these people are animals, and they are saying that they're going to wipe out Gaza, and the things they are saying and doing is absolutely evil, guys. The amount of killing they've done to babies and women and children, it's just really, really, only that kind of stuff is proper satanic. I mean, at least, yeah, I mean, when United States went into Iraq, and yeah, obviously there was acts of barbarism, but nothing like this, what Israel is doing to the Palestinians. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Somebody says North Korea will play a part in Iran's defense. I'm not sure how North Korea will play a part in Iran's defense, really, because they are quite far away from each other. And they can probably help Iran, providing them arms and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not sure how they can help. They can maybe borrow them a nuclear missile, but how are they going to move that nuclear missile from North Korea to Iran without the West noticing? So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, they can probably give them weapons and stuff, but I'm not sure how they can help, really. Because North Korea, don't forget, is helping Russia at the moment. And North Korea is a very poor country, so I don't think they have enough left to support not only Russia, but also Iran. So yeah, I'm not sure how they can help. They can probably provide technology, I guess, and stuff, and with some weapons. But we'll see. Oh, that's a good question. No way. Will Israel use chemical WMDs to flush out Hamas from tunnels? Yes, it does look like it. So all the evidence points to them doing that. So today, as you know, Israel has cut off all communications from Palestine. They've cut off all power. So there's no power, no communications. Nobody can have any power. Nobody can film and upload it to Twitter or anything like that. So whatever they do in Palestine right now, they can pretty much do whatever, because nobody will be able to send their truth. So nobody will be able to speak the truth, because so if they actually start pumping chemical weapons into Gaza, there'll be nobody there to report it. And they have already come out on the UN saying that Hamas is building chemical weapons. And if anybody does report this story, Israel will just say, "Oh, Hamas was building these chemical weapons. All we did was destroy it, and all these gas and chemical weapons is Hamas is basically, we destroyed it, and he got released in the tunnels. It's not our fault." So they'll probably come up with that story, and the West will kind of go along with that story, and that's how it works. So yeah, I do believe they will do that. Any other questions? Is this the end of Palestine? If I was a betting man, I would say yes, because you have Israel, you have 4 aircraft carriers from the United States, you have the French army, the German army, you have Australian army there, you have many other countries' armies there, which are proxies of the West. And Hamas is only how many? I don't know. It's just a small area, the size of Gaza is a small area, size of Central Park, and eventually, they can be overrun very easily. And they've got air power. Hamas don't really stand a chance. The only chance Hamas have got is if they went into Gaza and other countries started attacking Israel, like Hezbollah. If Syria got involved, if Iran got involved, then that war will kind of spread to other Middle Eastern countries, and maybe if all the Middle Eastern countries suddenly started doing oil embargoes in the West, like they did in the 70s, if they did an oil embargo saying we're not selling any more oil to the West, then things could really escalate. So yeah, so if I was a betting man, yeah, Palestinians don't have a chance. But if all the Muslim countries got together and tried to stop this somehow, then maybe they do have a chance. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, this ground operation has started, and only knows how things will develop. Okay, what other questions? Okay, I'm going to answer just one more question, then I'm going to call it a day, guys, because it's been over an hour. So Anonymous says, Israel is doing to Nazi Germany what it did in World War II. And I have to say 100%, because, what Palestinians are living in is a concentration camp. Israel controls what goes in, what goes out. They control the electricity, they control water, food, the economy. Nobody's allowed to get out. So it's a massive concentration camp. And now they're doing mass killings in the concentration camps. They're probably going to gas them as well, and yeah, they're doing collective punishment. So pretty much what they're doing in World War II. But the problem is, in World War II, you had the whole world against Germany, but this time you have all of the West, which is pro-Israel, and they are supporting this genocide. So that's the major difference. So back then, at least the Jews had a chance, because the whole world was supporting them, but not anymore. I think Palestinians are not being treated like humans, and that's the problem. I'll answer one more question, guys. Just gonna pick. Okay, I'll pick the last one. Hanfred, do you think USA will attempt to do a color revolution in Saudi Arabia to remove MBS and install US puppet? So far, Saudi didn't have one. Yes, I believe so, but they're not going to do it now. I think, they can't do everything at once. I think they're going to do they're going to try and do regime change in Syria, finish that job, and they'll probably try and do one in Lebanon, finish that job. Then they'll probably go for Iran and finish that job, and they'll come for Saudi Arabia next. And I think once then in the Neocons plan, if they can regime change Syria, Lebanon, and Iran, um, Saudi Arabia will get into line. I think they might not even need to regime change MBS. MBS might be forced to just get into line because USA will just threaten him. They said, look, you either toe the line, do what we say, or we regime change you. And I think eventually he will toe the line if the plan goes well. However, I don't think this plan will go well. I think this is going to be a complete disaster. So, but we'll see. Okay, final question, guys. I know I keep saying last question, but this is the final one. And thanks, guys. Thanks for everyone liking stuff. Really appreciate it. Dark Cloud says China should take Taiwan now. US is weak as FCK right now, and obviously I don't want to swear. And 100% true, 100%, because this is the best. If China wants to reunify Taiwan, this will be the best time to do it because United States has got its hands full in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and they have no capacity to protect Taiwan as well. They have zero capacity. There is impossible. So if China was, but however, I don't think China wants to do that. China wants to reunify Taiwan peacefully because they see Taiwanese people as Chinese. They see them as their own. They don't want to. They don't want war with Taiwan because they also have to look at their neighbors as well, ASEAN and all the immediate neighbors, and plus there'll be huge sanctions as well. So I don't think China will want to do that. But yes, if they did want to do that, this would be the best time. If they were ruthless and definitely this would be the best time. But I don't think it's in China's interest to kind of militarily get Taiwan unless Taiwan seeks independence or if US starts putting military bases in Taiwan or something, then they might do that. But if the US attacks China, then China might do that as well because they see, if there's a direct war between China and America, they see Taiwan as a security threat because during the Vietnam War and the Korean War, Taiwan was used as a base for American troops to attack, North Korea and Vietnam. So Taiwan was used as a military base. So for that to stop happening, China will have to take over Taiwan militarily if there is a direct confrontation between China and United States. And that could happen, if Iran is attacked, or it could happen if Philippines decide to do something stupid and escalate the South China Sea stuff with China, and then USA starts enabling the defense pact with Philippines. So there's still, there's still ways in China and the US can escalate things. But yeah, I mean, right now, as it stands, China will not want to reunify with Taiwan militarily. But yeah, if things escalate with the United States and there's a direct war in some way, then yeah, they might do. And it will be the best time to do it. You're 100% right. So that's it, guys. No more questions. I've been speaking over an hour, so quite tired. Thanks for everyone for joining. Really appreciate it. And don't forget to like and share. And I'm welcome to speak to you in the comments section as well once the stream has ended. And don't forget, if anybody wants to join me in future live streams, just send me an email and I'll try and arrange one with you. And yeah, and I'll see you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the show today, and I'll see you soon. Hopefully, I might try and make one over the weekend as well. So keep a lookout for that. And yeah, let's hope for the best. Let's hope for peace around the world. And take care for now, guys. See you soon. Bye.